National Assembly suspends plenary in honor of deceased House member. House urges the CBN to come up with procedure for reporting interbank transfer delays. And House of Representatives moves to amend the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Act. Hello and welcome to You and Your Reps on the NTA. I am Victor Azul. Thanks for joining us. The two chambers of the National Assembly suspended plenary in honor of a deceased member of the House of Representatives, Jude Isai-Dihen. House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, while announcing the demise of the late lawmaker on the first day of plenary after the sala break, described him as a committed legislator who worked tirelessly for the benefit of his constituents and other Nigerians. Jude Isai-Dihen, until his demise, represented Ogah, Ipobaoha Federal Constituency of Edo State. Aged 52, he died on the 1st of July 2022, leaving behind a wife and 3 children. In solidarity with the House of Representatives, the Senate also suspended its business of the day in honor of the late member. The House of Representatives, meanwhile, has resolved to invite the Minister of Interior, the Comptroller General of Corrections, and Comptroller, FCT Command of the Service, over attack on the Kuje Medium Custodial Center. Now, Chairman of the House Committee on Reformatory Institutions, Anayo Edwin, who led members to the attacked facility, says this is to work out possible areas of legislative intervention. John Yaku has details.
It is another visit to the Kuje Custodial Center by the Nigerian legislators. This time, it is members of the House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institutions that are on fact-finding mission.
Apart from the number of hours that their operation shows that, yes, they are very conversant with this place. They are aware of all the network here. That is a question and a concern to Nigerians.
We are not comfortable with the incident of jailbreaks this recent time. Jail attacks.
One too many.
It's almost about 10 to 12.
It's actually 15.
One too many.
It's not.
The Comptroller Kuje Custodial Center dispelled the notion that the military was withdrawn shortly before the attack.
We have a platoon of soldiers consisting of 30 men plus 1 officer. That is 31. And they were all here.
That day, on that day?
Yes. As you are coming, you see their base there. They stay here permanently for good 1 month before they are changed.
The committee therefore resolved to invite the relevant stakeholders to the National Assembly to interact and find solutions to incessant jailbreaks in the country.
Now, how do you channel complaints as a bank customer in respect of failed or delayed electronic funds transfer? Well, this explains why the House of Representatives wants the Central Bank of Nigeria to come up with procedure to channel such complaints.
Representative Mohammed Shamsuddin raised the matter as plenary, describing it as one of the most frustrating experiences of bank customers in Nigeria.
Customers of financial institutions across the country have inadequate means of filing complaints and getting immediate resolutions over failed e-fund transactions that occur on weekends and public holidays.
The House urged the Apex Bank to apply sanctions on erring financial institutions in line with regulations. House members urged authorities to assist victims of flood in parts of Yobe and Bauchi states as moved by Khadija Bukar and Mansour Soro.
The flooding has caused several people to become displaced and homeless, lacking in shelter and other basic human needs. Some of the displaced persons are temporarily residing in public buildings such as schools and mosques, which in itself poses health and safety issues.
Devastating flood disaster that occurred in Darozo town, which destroyed more than 200 houses, sources of livelihood and farmlands.
The motion from Shaulu Kwewum calling on security agencies to stop attacks on communities in Taraba State was adopted.
that in the last week from 5th to 12th of July, well over 30 people have been killed.
A bill to establish National Inspector General for Tax Crime Commission from Benjamin Kalu and the bill seeking the establishment of Federal Medical Center ISA in Sokoto State, sponsored by Mohammed Bargaja, were among the 5 that passed second reading. 11 bills passed first reading, while reports on 6 bills, including the bill seeking free Medicare for all children in Nigeria, were considered and approved as the Committee of the Whole.
And the House of Representatives is set to amend the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Act with a proposal of 4 years as period of validity for candidates to use JAMB results to apply for admission. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the bill has now passed second reading.
Debate on the bill seeking to amend the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Act was robust as House members expressed strong disapproval of the current practice where candidates, despite scoring the cutoff mark but unable to obtain admission, are compelled to again sit for the same exams.
JAMB is valid for one entry, and if you don't get in, you repeat it again. It is totally unfair.
Should there be victims of the fact that we've not provided enough universities to have an intake of every child that has passed?
Those who have now obtained the minimum be now allowed to be used in the next examination. Our poor parents that suffer to pay for these children should also be looked into.
The House also urged JAMB to organize mop-up exams for candidates whose participation in the 2022-2023 exams was marred by technical glitches. Other bills passed at second reading include Bill to establish Nigeria Police Academy Duku in Gombe State, sponsored by Aisha Duku, and the Bill to establish Federal Institute for Diving Technology in Sokebolu, Delta State, sponsored by Julius Pandi. Plenary featured the adoption of a resolution to investigate the recent prison break at Kuje Custodial Center as moved by Sha'aban Sharada.
The Kuje Custodial Center attack and its terrible outcome along with several related crimes against the national security are on the increase, despite the stakeholder commitment towards equipping the national security, enforcement and intelligence community with significant appropriation of funds.
The motion from Benilar urging authorities to restore peace between warring communities in Langtang, North Plateau State was adopted.
If nothing is done to intervene and restore lasting peace in these communities, these reoccurring communal clashes will continue unabated and lead to further loss of lives and property.
In the meantime, an ad hoc committee will be set up to investigate all joint venture operations and production sharing contracts in the oil and gas sector from 1990 to ascertain whether implementation was within legal provisions.
And Thursday's plenary also featured a bill for an act to establish the David Umahi Federal University of Medical Sciences, Oboro. Sponsor of the bill, Chinedu Ogah, says the aim is to provide the institution a legal framework to operate.
It's just that we want to give the law the legalization of the university. It's already a completed university, built by the governor of Ebonyi State, functioning, furnished, equipped, but it was taken over by the federal government, by President Mohamed Buhari, during the visitation to Ebonyi State. And this university will help to reduce the health tourism. It will now help to generate more revenue to Nigerians. It will help to generate job opportunity. It will create more development for our country. This is a place that has a capacity of almost about 50,000 people to be employed. This is a place that will generate a lot of revenue. Is it a microbiology department? Is it nursing? Is it pathology? Is it physiology? Is it medical lab? Is any part of the health? You don't need to run these tests and move to other town to do it. everything centered in that the same university. But the people that are being employed there today are not only APC people, nor PDP people, nor is people of this country. And the Ebonyi people are the beneficiary of these people. For governor to build such a university, and that is why we the Ebonians, started by the House of Assembly, deem it necessary to name it after him. And it was upheld by the president. It was called King David University. It was renamed by President Muhammad Buhari. So, he's a former governor, he's a former state chairman of a party, he's a former deputy governor. He have done marvelously well for his name to be remembered. That you can see now, being a National Assembly member, I initiated the bill. So, it's not about him claiming it. It was the voice of the masses, the House of Assembly, the National Assembly. So, it's not about that. When someone do well, we have to appreciate such person. The legacy is there, what he have done. So, naming the university after him is not a bad thing. The bill have passed first reading, second reading. It's now have been assigned to the committee. By God's grace, immediately the committee finished their work. So the House will look into it and pass it to the third reading. And it will now be transmitted to the president. President will definitely sign it because he have given approval to the university establishment. He will definitely going to sign it. But as a legislature, we are doing the one we need to do appropriately so that it will be legalized.
On the surface, a conference report can be said to mean a report presented after attending a conference, but that will be simplistic. So what does a conference report mean for the legislature? That took us this time to the Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business, Abubakar Flata, and here's what he told us.
When the House sets up a committee and mandates it to undertake certain responsibilities, normally there's a time limit within which that particular committee is expected to report back to the House. So at the expiration of their assignment, they are supposed to lay their report. Now the report will be laid before the House in plenary, and then a date will be fixed for the consideration of that report. So the document report is the final position of the committee on a particular assignment.
Following push by the House of Representatives to have the Central Bank of Nigeria come up with a procedure for reporting delays associated with interbank transfers, you and your reps went to the streets to share experiences of the common man on the subject.
It's quite difficult. I still feel that there's need for synergy. It took almost, one of them took almost 3 days before it was resolved. You know, so they are still not, mostly if it's different bank. The second one I had was the same bank. It took 2 days. The other one was different bank. It took almost 5 days. And I suffered not being able to use the money when I needed it.
Some banks, they will just like process auto reversal of your money. They will tell you within 24 hours. While some banks, they are very terrible at that. Some it will even take weeks before your money will be reversed.
I have seen one of my friends that lost his money. The money was never reversed. I think it was around 25,000 naira. And when he lodged complaints to the bank, they couldn't offer any solution.
The first one I did, I believe like till this day. Yeah, but there's one that I know that I did like just 3 days, 2 days, and it worked through. they will always tell me that I should go back to the parent branch that I opened the account. What sort of problem is that one? For my own money again. So I believe I'm still on the struggle.
This week on You and Your Reps, we take a look at the House Committee on Youth Development. We spoke with the Deputy Chairman of the committee, Abdul Mumin Ari.
The committee don't relate efforts. We try going many states to execute to what is expected of us as an oversight functions. As part of the oversight functions, going different states to see the stages of or the states of their infrastructures, their health being, and as well as the training that they're obtaining at the camp. It's all encompassing. It's part of what we're oversighting, going for an oversight to see ourselves on behalf of the 360 members. We get there, what kind of foods are they eating? Because it has been appropriated. The accommodations where they're living is part of the responsibility of the state to provide as a joint staff. At the same time, in the camp, they've been trained in different entrepreneurship skills, acquisitions, different fields of knowledge in which they will come out and practice it in order to avoid the white-collar job and be a self-employed of labor. It's part of the activities. We have achieved a lot. I can tell you we have gone not less than 15 to 16 thereabouts. I don't have it at records, but not less than 15 states that we have visited so far. It is during our time we're able to see how NYSC will have what is called NYSC Trust Funds, in which it is the designs that comes up from the DG, Major General Ibrahim Shaibu. He really wants the trust fund in order to reduce the burden from the government post, to ensure that those corpers trained in the camp, as they are leaving the camp, they should be able to have what they can take up and start their business without waiting the government to give them employment. They can be self-employed. And the same time, the funds too is going to be used in training the trainees. You understand, by expanding the scope. So if you look at the rate at which Nigerians are graduating students today, it will get a time that maybe government cannot afford to continue giving the NYSC attention that is required of. So in view of that, he came up with the ideas of what if we have NYSC trust funds that will help a lot in expanding the scope and meeting of the demands of the NYSC as scope mandate. So that is also part of what we have achieved in our time. We were able to pass the bill. The bill was passed first, second reading, and as it is now, it has finished with the National Assembly. It is getting to the presidency for assent. So it's part of the work of the committee that we have achieved so far. The expectations that we're going to have from here is new innovations. We expect to have more innovations like what the other man did. One, he has to build upon what the man did. And two, he has to bring more innovations to aligning with what the norms and values of the NYSC's scheme, so as to improve it more. Others can't learn more skills that's what is not even expected. No, the ninth assembly in record is one of the best assemblies ever recorded. I'm not opportune to serve the 8th assembly, but the 9th assembly that I'm in, proudly to tell you, if it gets to individual constituency, you see a lot of projects that members were able to attract to their constituency for the benefit of their constituents. I mean, you get it. This is the power of lobbying as a legislator. In the 9th assembly, if you see the numbers of bills that were able to, you understand, that passed second, third reading, and all in the name of the 9th assembly for the betters of Nigerians. Two key issues in the 9th assembly that you can recall were the issue of PIB bill and the electoral acts were all signed into law during the 9th assembly. It's a great achievement. And I want to tell you the remaining days or the remaining months that ahead of the 9th assembly, the 9th assembly will do more better. If you look at the passing of the budget, 9th assembly play a key role there. At any point in time, the presidencies bring in or the executives bring in the budget to the 9th assembly. Then the 9th assembly, the leadership will make sure that all committees' activity will be collapsed to fix the budget issues. No member will be allowed to travel except on the medical issues where necessary. If it demands that he must leave the country, you get the point. But otherwise, all of us will remain in one place and make sure we concentrate on the Nigerian's budget for the speedy passage. And we cannot just, now assembly don't just pass the budget ordinarily. We must go through it from page 1 to the last page. Call the executives, those in affairs, ask them necessary and relevant technical questions. You get it? Let me give you one thing. In the committee that I'm serving, we're able to ask one of the MBFs that, look, we need, if you are bringing in your documents to us or before us, such document must include the details designed, the bill of quantity prepared for that particular project, so as we can have a look and understand what is the provisions in the bill of quantity in respect of the site clearance, or in the respect of the setting up of the building, or in the respect of the, even if the current excavations, what goes around, what provisions. There are so many things being provided in the bill, sometimes contractors will overlook it. So 9th assembly have done a lot. And I want to tell you the remaining days or the remaining months, 9th assembly are willing and ready, determined to do more better.
Indeed, the months leading up to the general election will be interesting as the House tries to consolidate its achievements. And that's been you and your reps. We thank you very much for staying tuned. I am Victor Azu. We'll see you next time.